The new Modern Warfare 2 Season 5 Reloaded patch notes just went live, and in this video we've been going over all the changes made in the new 1.24 update. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with any and all news, updates, best class tips and tricks, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn those post notifications. And after watching the video, let me know down in the comment section, you guys agree this update is a W or a massive L. We're gonna jump right to the weapon balance because that's what's important and what I feel is imperative to having a good season here in Modern Warfare 2. Now, you guys can see here we have some new DLC weapons. We have the pickaxe melee weapon. You can unlock this within the battle pass sector. We also have the 9mm Damon. You can also unlock this in the battle pass sector. And once you unlock the pistol as well as the melee weapon, you have access to the Lockman Shroud, which is another submachine gun locked within the battle pass sector. It's going to be kind of like the Lockman sub. Hopefully it is a viable submachine gun and worth the wait and grind to get it unlocked. Now let's talk about the weapon balancing because this is going to be incredibly interesting. So for handguns, the F-Tac Siege increase close mid distance damage range. So they are buffing the F-Tac Siege, which honestly I am incredibly shocked about. I was not anticipating an F-Tac Siege buff, but at the same time, I'm not gonna say no to this. This is definitely interesting because this is hands down the absolute best secondary run here in Modern Warfare 2, and it's better than some of the underperforming submachine guns, in my personal opinion, like the MX9 and the PDSW. So I'm curious to see how this weapon is going to perform. I'm going to have to make an updated class setup video on this gun because I'm feeling this is going to be an actual literal primary, secondary within Season 5. Now for the submachine guns, we have the Lockman sub. They adjusted stats on the FT mobile stock to increase mobility. So they are buffing the mobility on the Lockman sub. That's insane when rocking this attachment. So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and test this out to see how good the Lockman sub actually is. It's crazy. This weapon was already meta, and I would say definitely top 2 SMGs in the entire game. It just became even better, which again, I ain't gonna complain, but hopefully they do something to some of the underperforming subs like the MX9 as well as the PDSW. Okay, PDSW 258, I think they messed up the name. This should be 528. Minor adjustment to iron sights for better align and bullet trajectory. So they went ahead and adjusted the PDSW's iron sights, making them better, so you do not need to rock an optic. That was something that honestly I didn't really mind. I didn't mind the iron sights on this submachine gun. I wanted an increase to the damage range and bullet velocity. Looks like we're not getting that this season. I don't know if we're gonna get it at all, but you know what, I'll take any and all help with this submachine gun. Now we have the ISO 45 here, increased damage range. That's actually wild because the ISO 45 is a dominant SMG. It's not hard meta like the Lockman sub and the Vazna, but it's definitely not bad. This is gonna be more of an AR SMG, and it just became even better. So in my personal opinion, this is a massive W. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of the ISO 45. I think we can all agree this weapon is actually usable and it's not bad whatsoever. Now Lockman sub, they reduce close distance damage range. You know, they whatever, man, whatever. It's crazy they didn't touch the Vaznev 9K, but they buffed as well as nerfed the Lockman sub this update. Pretty interesting. I'm not too sure why they did that. If they touched the Lockman, they gotta do something to the Vaznev 9K, but yeah, I guess they're happy with how the Vaznev performs and, you know, reigning supreme as, you know, quote unquote the best secondary to use in Modern Warfare 2. Now for the ARs, the FR Advancer, increased damage range and reduced hip spread. Honestly, I'm not surprised about this. The FR Advancer again was one of those assault rifles where I feel like people loved it or they hated it. Personally, I like the FR Advancer. I think it's a rock solid assault rifle, so I'm happy they're going ahead and buffing this weapon and making it better here in this Season 5 Reloaded update. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this AR. Now we have the Tempest Razorback. They increased damage range as well on the Razorback. The Razorback, aka the TAR-21, was another assault rifle that I feel like people either loved or they hated. So it's nice they're going ahead and making these weapons a little bit more viable at longer ranges, definitely to go ahead and combat the TAC-56 and the M4. And so this is definitely a W in my opinion. Any buff is a massive W in the AR or SMG category, realistically, no matter what gun it's on, even on the meta weapons. Now, M16, I was just talking about this. They increased close mid damage range. So the M16 got a buff, which again is a massive W. I feel like the M16, again, it's not a bad assault rifle, but it's a gun that people don't really use because it's a little bit too hard for them to use. So any buff to the M16 is a huge plus in my book. I think they need to go ahead and tighten up that, pellet spread in the bursts, reduce the recoil. But again, I'm definitely going to go ahead and take a range buff on the M16. So far we have the Advancer, the Razorback, and the M16s that got buffed in the assault rifle category. That's awesome here. So again, I'm not going to complain. Now the Cast-Off 74U, they reduced the damage range. I don't know why they nerfed the 74U. People don't really run this weapon at all. Honestly, I think the 74U is kind of chalked at this point. There's no reason to run this gun over the 7.62, so I think we can finally go ahead and put this gun in the grave. It was amazing when the game first came out. I think it's officially dead, unfortunately. So the 74U is 100%. In my personal opinion, even if it's still viable, there's no reason to run it because they keep nerfing it every single update. So I guess we're just going to be done with this gun. It's a shame, but the 7.62 is just 1,000 times better. It is what it is. Now the ISO Hemlock, they reduced mid-far distance damage range. I was not surprised that they nerfed the ISO Hemlock. They like to touch the Hemlock every single update, or at least it feels like every other update. It's just one of those assault rifles where they keep nerfing, but it's still, dominant. So hopefully the Hemlock is a rock solid AR within the Season 5 Reloaded update. Gonna go ahead and get some testing on here. Might have to go ahead and adjust the class. But for the most part, I think so far under the assault rifle category, it is a W. It's sad that we have to go ahead and put away the 74U, but again, the 7.62 is still gonna be reigning supreme. Now for the battle rifles, the TAC-V, they increased the damage range. Wow. So the TAC-V got a buff. This was already a good battle rifle. This is definitely a massive W in my opinion. People don't really run battle rifles for whatever stupid reason in this game. They're incredibly good, so you can go ahead and rock the TAC-V. Now the Cronin Squall also got a damage range increase as well. God damn, they're doing a lot of buffs this season. This is actually amazing, and so I'm super happy about this. They increased the damage range on the Cronin Squall. Massive W. I wish they gave this gun its one-shot kill potential, but it is what it is. TAC-V, Cronin Squall, I will definitely go ahead and take this. These two weapons are, in my opinion, the best battle rifles, and they got buffed, so that's going to be amazing. Now the SO14 increased damage range, so they buffed another battle rifle and the 7.62. So they buffed all of the good battle rifles. Again, this is going to be a massive W in my opinion. I cannot wait to go ahead and get my hands on these guns, something that I feel is going to be just kicking ass this season. So we have the TAC-V, the Cronin Squall, the 7.62, the SO14 is kind of mid. We have the M16, the Razorback, and the FR Advancer, and the ISO 45 that are all better. And those are all guns that are actually usable. So that is amazing. Now for shotguns, they reduced the mid-distance range on the Lockwood 300. That is massive. They increased damage range. God, the slugs. So they increased the damage range on the slugs and HE, and they increased long-range damage. I don't know if that's good or not. So they kind of nerfed and buffed the shotgun, that Lockwood 300. We'll have to see about that. For the Bryson 890, slightly reduced damage range. And they increased damage range for the slugs and HE. So it looks like they're reducing range on the regular pellets, but they're increasing them on the slugs. So I guess it's kind of a trade-off, because the slugs are a lot harder to use, so we'll have to go ahead and see how this plays out. Same thing with the Bryson 800 with the damage range, and they went ahead and buffed the slugs and HE. Pretty interesting. And for the marksman rifles, oh Jesus Christ, they buffed the SAB-50 by increasing the ADS speed and the ADS movement speed and the damage range. The Lockwood MK2 increased ADS speed and movement speed for ADS. SPR 208 increased long distance damage and the EBR-14 reduced damage range. So they pretty much buffed all the bolt action marksmans and they nerfed the EBR-14, which is strange. And they also nerfed and slightly buffed the shotguns. Pretty interesting here that they did this within season 5. They kind of did this, I believe, in season 3 as well. So they're really trying to get people to use the marksman rifles more. Light machine guns. HCR-56 increased mid-distance damage range, and they increased mid-distance damage range on the RAP-H. So both of these got buffs, which I think is good. The HCR-56 is a monster. That's like literally the 5.56, the AR, but just way better. So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and give this a try. That's probably gonna replace the STB in all reality. And for the sniper rifles, oh man, the Kark 300, they buffed the shit out of this. I'm surprised they didn't buff the M13C. Increased close range damage, increased upper arm location damage, increased long distance damage range, increased ADS to hip transition speed, increased hip movement speed, and increased sprint speed on the Kark 300. This gun got a massive buff. FJX Imperium, increased ADS speed, increased ADS movement speed, and small reduction to hip spread. This is a massive buff to the FJX. I'm gonna have to run this again. Which is good. Signal 50, they reduced close distance damage range, so they nerfed the Bear 50 cal, and the SPX 80 reduced damage range. So for the most part, all the guns that they touched within season 5 in multiplayer, I feel like was a good addition, except I don't really know why. This is bothering me. The cast off 74U, why would they nerf this, but they buff all the snipers? It just doesn't really make sense here. But you know what, it is what it is. For the most part, I think this is a W. These are all going to be Warzone. Yeah, this is all going to be Warzone here. So these are all the Modern Warfare adjustments. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is this update a W or an L? Personally, I think this update is a W. There's a lot more, and I mean a lot more good than bad here. Again, I'm really sorry. We're gonna have to go ahead and retire the 70 for you, but at least we got the 7.62. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications, and I'll catch you guys in season 5 Reloaded. Deuces.